Today we are going to do our mid-chapter check, and these are our 4 do now problems. Go ahead and pause this if you need to look at these, or you can turn to page 240 in your book. And we're going to go over them. So the first one, we have some mixed numbers that we are going to turn into improper fractions. And remember to do that, we do what's called the wheel. Let me remind you how to do that. You are going to keep your denominator the same. Then you multiply. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14, and that's where I get the 14/5. So first I do the wheel for each of these mixed numbers to make them into improper fractions. Then we keep this one the same, change it to multiplying, and take the reciprocal, flip it, keep it, change it, flip it, check for simplifying, which I did, and then multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and I get 21/10, which is a top-heavy improper fraction. So you want to see how many groups of tens can I fit into 21? That's where I get my 2, because 2 groups will fit. I take away the 20 pieces I used, and I have 1 left over, so 2 1/10. Absolute value of a number is always how far it is from 0, so it's always positive, so it's going to be 2 2/3. All right, we're going 6 units to the right of -2, -3. When you go 6 units to the right of that, so I will show you right here how I figured it out. So we started over here, and then we're going 6 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we end up at 4, -3. That's why I got that answer. All right, and then this is talking about ratios, and we have 9 mini sandwiches for every 2 people attending. What is a ratio that's equivalent to this ratio? And so I have a couple here that you could choose from. I either multiplied by 2 or multiplied by 3 to get some equivalent ratios there for you. So either of those will work. Okay, today we're just going to go over your mid-chapter checkpoint. We are going to be taking our mid-chapter checkpoint, but this I would like you to take out of your book. It's on page 241 and 242. And I would like you to fill out the page that is inside your book, tear it out, and take it home for a study guide before your quiz. But I want to make sure you have the correct answers on it. So let's go over it together. It says, choose the best term from the box to complete the sentence. A unit rate is a rate that makes a comparison to 1 unit. So remember, a unit rate is a ratio that has a 1 on the bottom. That's a unit rate. So that's what you are going to write for number 1. Number 2, 2 ratios that name the same comparison are equivalent ratios. So that's number 2, equivalent ratios. Remember, you can pause the video at any time to take more time to write these answers down. Number 3, we're comparing the squares to the blue, or the squares to the red circles. So it's 3 to 5, and that can be written as 3 to 5 with a colon, 3 to 5 with a word, or 3/5 as a fraction. We're going to write these ratios into there's 3 different ways to write them. They give you one way, you write the other 2. So for number 4 should be as a fraction and with a colon. 5 with the word 2 and as a fraction. 6 with the word 2 and with a colon. 7, 11/3 as a fraction, and then 11 to 3 as a colon. Then it says, write 2 equivalent ratios. And remember, I do encourage you to just use small numbers when you're doing your multiplying. So here I did multiplied by 2 and then multiplied by 3. When I multiply my numerator and denominator by 2, I get 4/14. When I multiply that by 3, I get 6/21. The next one, we're multiplying by 2 and 3 again. When I multiply by 2, I get 12/10. By 3, 18/15. Number 10, 3/4. This one I simplified. I divided by 3. 3/4 when I divide the top and bottom by 3. And then I multiplied by 2, and I got 18/24. Now, yes, you could actually multiply by 3 as well. If you multiply by 3, you'll get 27/36. That one could also work. There's also other ones, but remember, I am encouraging you to use either simplifying or multiplying by a small number. Here we are going to divide by 2, and I would get 9 over 3. If I divide by 6, I would get 3 over 1. You could also multiply to get equivalent ratios there. All right, this one, 15 is turning into a 5, so I am dividing that by 3. This is the one I know, so 5 times 3 is 15. 10 times 3 is 30. Here, this is the one I know. 3 times 3 is 9. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 12 times 3 is 36. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 48 divided by 2 is 24. 9, hope you guys can see this. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Oops. We're going to also go over the story problems on this page. All right, here we go. All right, so on the back, 16, this is on page 242. It says, there are 36 students in the chess club, 40 students in the drama club, and 24 in the film club. What ratio of students in the drama club to students in the film club? So drama is 40, film is 24, so 40 to 24. If you wanted to simplify it, you could. That would be why they say a possible answer here. We could also simplify that by dividing those both by 4. That would be 10 over 6, which you could divide again by 2, which would be 5 over 3. So that would be the simplified ratio, 5 over 3. Both would work. A trail mix has 4 cups of raisins, 3 cups of dates, 6 cups of peanuts, and 2 cups of cashews. Which ingredients are the same ratio as cashews to raisins? So our cashews to raisins is what we should look at first, would be 2 to 4. So here's our raisins, 2 to 4. And so it's asking us for a ratio that is equivalent to that. And so if we do dates to peanuts, that would be 3 to 6. When I simplify both of these, right, if I simplify this one and divide these both by 2, I get 1/2. When I simplify this one and divide them both by 3, I also get 1 over 2, or 1 to 2. And so these are equivalent because when they're simplified, they are equal. And that's the way that you're going to tell if a fraction is equivalent, is by simplifying it as small as it can go and seeing if you get an equal ratio when they are simplified. That's how you'll know if they're equal or not. There are 32 adults and 20 children at a school play. What's the ratio of children to people at the school play? So adults to children. Children, there's 20. Adults, there's 32, but it's asking for total people. So we have to do 32 plus the 20 kids. We're adding them all together. We're going to get 52, so it would be 20 to 52. Now again, 20 to 52 can be simplified, so it's just a possible answer because we could divide these both by 2, and if we do that, if I divide it both in half, I get this, and I can divide them both in half again, and I get 5/13 as the most simplified way to write that ratio. All right, then Sonia got 8 out of 10 questions right on a quiz. She got the same score on the quiz that had 20 questions. How many questions did Sonia get right on the second quiz, and how many questions did she get wrong on the second quiz? So let's show you how I figured that out. It was 8 to 10 on the first quiz, and we are setting up an equivalent ratio with 20 questions. So we would multiply this times 2 and our numerator times 2, which would give us 16 out of 20. So 16 out of 20 would be the number of questions correct. And then it would take us, it'd be 4 questions that were wrong, because 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, those would be the 4 questions they had wrong. So 4 questions were incorrect. Okay. Make sure you pause at the proper spots and get all that written down so you can take it home for a study guide tonight.